There's not a lot left, so let's continue. Let's take an example of a well-known phobia. Claustrophobia, the fear of enclosed spaces. I'm going to compare it to gymnophobia. We see similarities. For example, a person might say, I'm not comfortable with being in elevators, I prefer to take the stairs. Most people would recognise that as being an irrational fear. However, if the same person says, I'm not comfortable swimming naked, I prefer to wear the bathing suit, it now seems like a normal reaction. Yes, there's no rational reason to wear a bathing suit. Phobias can be treated, of course, but before you seek treatment you must realise that there is a problem. The American Psychiatric Association says a phobia that interferes with the daily living can create extreme disability and should be treated. Since most of the world accepts gymnophobia as normal, it doesn't seem to interfere in the daily life. Thus, very few realise that it needs to be treated. People have suggested that I'm obsessed with being naked, as if I have some sort of psychological problem. That's kind of strange since I spend most of my time wearing clothes. I'm very comfortable dressed just like I'm very comfortable nude. It's the textile world that obsesses with wearing clothes since they are unable to be nude in public. They are the ones with the psychological problem. They suffer from gymnophobia. And I think that, last part says it all, really. We've constructed so much of a convenience around our society that we never have to deal with it, and that we've taken it so normal that we've self-justified, and we've created a world that justifies having gymnophobia, and we're seeing it as a positive thing when it's not a positive thing. No phobia is a positive thing. Now I would like to ask for some feedback here. Would you consider yourself gymnophobic? After hearing this and hearing the definitions of gymnophobia, could you compare yourselves to that and logically say that you are not gymnophobic? If so, why? And if not, why? I would really like to hear people's opinions on this, and to really find out how they justify themselves not being gymnophobic, even though most of the time they would prefer to wear clothes rather than be nude, and I may dare go so far to say that they are not being comfortable with being seen nude. And finally, I would ask this. Do you feel that the full body scanners and the paranoia behind it, and people refusing to take the full body scanners at airports in a method to help fight terrorism is rational? Do you think that risking being allowed to say, oh, I'm not comfortable, and having a terrorist take a plastic bomb on board and then blow you sky high, do you think that that's a reasonable alternative to having a silhouette-esque image of you being seen nude by a professional to ensure that you are not carrying any sort of dangerous items on board? Does that seem rational to you? And do you think it is rational to have to wear a large cloth for decontamination in the potential of an anthrax scare? And if the area is infected with anthrax, would you willingly be nude in public if it meant that you would be having your life saved or being prevented from catching a serious and life-threatening disease? Would you do that? And if you wouldn't, are you gymnophobic? This is 9x060. I thank you for listening, and I shall see you all on the dark side of the moon. Off and away.